For decades, we've lived by dietary guidelines that influenced everything from our kitchen tables to school cafeterias and military meals. Now, a truly unprecedented shift has occurred. The US dietary guidelines have been dramatically re-envisioned, literally flipping the traditional food pyramid upside down. This change, announced by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as part of the 2025-2030 Dietary Guidelines for Americans, signals a monumental re-evaluation of how we approach food and health, promising a future where real food takes center stage. A historic reversal in dietary advice. The release of the 2025-2030 Dietary Guidelines for Americans has been heralded as the most significant reset in nutrition policy in history, with many referring to it as a massive win for proponents of a real food approach. For the first time, these guidelines don't just fine-tune recommendations. They reverse foundational principles that have guided our eating for over 40 years. Previously, grains formed the widest base of the food pyramid, suggesting 6 to 11 servings daily and positioning carbohydrates as the cornerstone of our diet. However, the new guidance has overturned this model, placing protein, full-fat dairy, healthy fats, and vegetables at the top, while grains now occupy the smallest section at the bottom. This profound inversion has far-reaching implications, particularly for institutional food systems in schools, hospitals, nursing homes, and the military, which will now be compelled to completely overhaul their supply chains to align with these new principles. Declaring war on ultra-processed foods. Perhaps the most striking change in the new guidelines is the direct and unequivocal targeting of highly processed foods. These foods are now explicitly identified as a primary driver behind 90% of chronic diseases, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and fatty liver disease. For years, the ultra-processed food industry operated under a shroud of silence, but the new document contains hardcore statements that dismantle this protection. The guidelines urge Americans to significantly reduce consumption of highly processed products, particularly those laden with refined carbohydrates, added sugars, excess sodium, and unhealthy fats. This marks a decisive shift away from cosmetic wording to a clear condemnation of foods that have dominated our diets for too long. The new vs the old. What's changed on your plate? The contrast between the old and new dietary models is stark. The previous recommendations advocated for 6 to 11 servings of carbohydrates daily, which convert into significant amounts of sugar in the body. They also promoted low-fat, low-cholesterol, and low-saturated fat diets, with a primary focus on the simplistic calories in equals calories out equation. The 2025-2030 guidelines, however, champion a different approach. They emphasize real, whole foods and a substantial increase in high-quality protein, including sources like red meat, moving beyond previous recommendations that often prioritize plant-based protein exclusively. The suggested daily protein intake has dramatically risen from approximately 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight to between 1.2 and 1.6 grams per kilogram. This means a 180-pound individual, who might have previously aimed for around 65 grams of protein, is now encouraged to consume 98 to 131 grams per day. This adjustment is a significant win, as many individuals are deficient in high-quality protein, and adequate intake is crucial for biochemistry, hormone regulation, and blood sugar control. However, implementing these changes presents a considerable challenge, with over 50% of the average American's caloric intake currently coming from highly processed foods, and entire food supply chains built around their delivery. A complete overhaul will require immense effort and strategic planning. The battle over definitions. What is food? A crucial yet often overlooked aspect of these dietary shifts lies in the definitions. While the new guidelines extensively target highly processed foods, there's a delicate discussion to be had about how food itself is defined. The speaker suggests that before defining what is highly processed, we should first establish a clear understanding of actual food. For too long, the legal definition of food, something edible with a long shelf life, has diverged drastically from its biological definition. Biologically, food is that which sustains life, promotes growth, and aids in the repair of body tissues. The legal definition, unfortunately, has little to do with supporting health. Reverting to a biological definition of food would be a game changer, immediately clarifying what truly nourishes us versus what merely fills us, thereby enabling people to make more informed choices about what they put into their bodies. The unaddressed elephant, insulin resistance. Despite these progressive changes, one critical piece of the health puzzle remains largely unaddressed in the new guidelines: insulin resistance, often considered the root cause of most chronic diseases. While the recommended dietary shifts might indirectly help prevent insulin resistance, they may not adequately assist those already struggling with it. To correct insulin resistance, it's not just about what you eat, but also how often. Consuming even healthy foods multiple times a day, 3 meals, 2 snacks, or frequent grazing, can still lead to insulin